Hello, I'm Robin Thomas, and I'm the founder of Living Well Connections. I help people stop feeling powerless about their health by guiding them through healthy habits and without getting overwhelmed. Because of that, I founded the Living Well Connections community to support, educate, and empower us all to make healthy decisions for a more balanced and fulfilling life. And today I'm excited to introduce you to Patty Liu, who is one of our members and practitioners. Patty Liu is the founder of Driven to Peak Consulting. She's a sports mental performance coach and has helped athletes at the youth level up through the college level improve their athletic performance in both the United States and Canada. Driven to Peak Consulting is a sports psychology and performance coaching company. They increase athletes' chances to get an athletic scholarship for college by decreasing the pressures related to competitive sports. This allows athletes to play freely, which is when they put on their peak performances consistently to increase their chances to get an athletic scholarship for college. Hi, Patty.
Hi.
I know you're so dedicated about helping young athletes develop that strong mind that can carry them through challenges when they're balancing sports and academics and just life. I know that most people who enter a practice such as this have a powerful personal story. When and how did you get interested in becoming a sports mental performance coach?
Yes, it goes back to my childhood days when I was 6, 7, or 8 years old. I watched Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls win his 5th and 6th championships on TV. From that moment on, I fell in love with sports, and I knew growing up I wanted a career related to sports. Fast forward to my teenager years, I saw Tiger Woods play golf. He made playing golf cool for us young people. Before Tiger Woods, you could make the argument that golf was stereotyped as a sport only for old people. Well, he made golf cool for young people, and he made me want to try the game. Well, trying the game meant taking golf lessons. And in the process of taking golf lessons, I became aware of athletes' wants, needs, frustrations, and fears because I experienced them all. Luckily, I had that golf teacher provide me that non-judgmental and safe environment to honestly discuss my struggles. Not all traditional sports coaches do that. I was lucky enough to have one who did, and him not having the educational background that I have, and him doing what I do for athletes at a very, very surface level really helped me. So I believe with my educational background, I can really help athletes. And since I was majoring in psychology in undergrad, and I knew I wanted a career related to sports, I pursued my master's related to performance and sports psychology after undergrad. Fast forward to December of 2017, my friend and master's degree classmate who's already started her own sports psychology and performance coaching business convinced me to do the same. So I niched in to focus on high school and college athletes.
I love how you got a spark when you were young of watching these two very inspiring athletes. Honestly, I mean, I know that they both inspired so many kids to move
Mhm.
on. So
Yes.
that moved you on into the interest in sports, and then the psychology. Obviously, you're combining two things that you're very interested in, and it's great. And you're helping other people that way. Now,
Yes.
you said you like to work with youth and you like to work with college students. And what do you do when you're working with them? What is first of all, how do these kids discover you? And
Mhm.
second of all is, what do you do when you're meeting your client for the first time? What would be something that they would be able to expect when they met you? We wanted to work with you.
Yes. My first couple of clients came through referrals when I was doing beta testing. They came through referrals. Most of my clients come through networking or they come through referrals.
But what attracts them to work with you? What,
yes.
Yeah.
Improving their athletic performance, increasing their opportunities to get an athletic scholarship for college and or to turn pro, and how I focus on an area of athletic performance that they have neglected. Your children's so basically your children's athletic performance is a combination of physical and mental. And since your children's athletic performance is a combination of physical and mental, I can make the argument that at least 50% of your children's athletic performance is mental. However, parents have done a great job in investing in the physical side of athletic performance. And by that, I mean hiring the sports skills coach, enrolling their children in travel ball, and hiring a personal trainer and a nutritionist. However, they don't know that a professional such as myself existed until they've met me.
Yeah. And once they meet you, let us imagine the very first session you have with them. What can they expect in the very first session? Not the results, but just so they know what are they going to be doing. They may not be thinking of, they may not have heard of sports psychology or sports mental strength. And they're just thinking, oh, well, I just need to know how to hit the ball better. I need to know how to, kick, or, the moves they need to do. So what do you talk to them about at the very beginning?
Well, before I ask for money, the process of onboarding an athlete or a parent of an athlete or a sports coach is that I get them on a free consultation call. They get to ask me any questions that they have related to the sports psychology and performance psychology field. They get a few tips to improve their athletic performance, regardless of whether or not they become a paying client. They always leave with a few tips to improve their athletic performance. So they get a sample of what it is like to work with me to make sure we click personality-wise. We go over rules, we go over expectations.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. I've been reading a lot on your website, and I've noticed that it's very important to understand misconceptions. And you talk a lot about the misconception of sports psychology versus sports mental performance, and what you do as opposed, to what you don't do and what you do. Can you explain a little bit more about that misconception about sports psychology?
Yes. The first misconception is I want parents and athletes and sports coaches to hear this clearly. Seeing a professional such as myself does not mean that something is wrong with the athlete or that they are weak. Instead, let's flip it. Seeing me means that they are serious athletes determined to improve their athletic performance. They really want to increase their chances to get an athletic scholarship for college and or to go pro. You don't wait till something is bad enough. Like, say, for example, I've been stereotyped as parents, athletes, and sports coaches only think of me when the athlete is performing poorly or in a slump. I much rather they think of me when the athlete is performing well, because that way I can just help them soar to the next level and maintain a high level of performance. And with the athlete performing well, there's also pressure there. And you don't want that pressure to hinder their athletic performance.
I love that. It's like prevention.
Yes.
Preventing them to be overcome by the pressure and the challenges that are going to happen when an athlete becomes elite, or even if it's elite high school athlete. You know, they get everyone looking up to them or everyone trying to tear them down, you know, one or the other. And to have that support from you and the skills, it sounds like, you know, you're teaching them skills that they can take and to do on their own,
Yes.
right? That's great.
Yes.
So
I am not a sports psychologist. The difference between me and a sports psychologist is that I do not diagnose and treat mental health illnesses. I only focus on improving their sports performance. And those techniques can also apply to help them improve their performance in school. And both ways help them get an athletic scholarship for college. For example, I help them with the pressure to win, the pressure to balance school and sports, the pressure to get an athletic scholarship for college, the pressure to meet your parents' expectations, motivation, confidence, habits, routines are some examples. And parents love this. I help them break poor habits, break poor routines. I make practice more game realistic than a traditional sports coach. And I also incorporate working on their weaknesses when they're practicing on their own. Athletes get themselves in trouble when they're practicing on their own time. They don't like to practice their weaknesses, and as a result, it remains a weakness and it doesn't help them get better.
That's great. That's great. So tell me very briefly your favorite part of this business.
But when I help athletes increase their opportunities to get an athletic scholarship or their opportunity to turn pro, their look on their faces when I've been helpful, the look on their faces when they see me and they're happy to see me and they compliment me that I'm awesome. And when I'm away from them, they miss me and they see that I really help them improve their athletic performance and they spread my name to their friends.
I love that. I love that. So this is wonderful. And you are able to work long distance too, right?
Yes.
So you're able to work virtually.
Yes. And parents always complain about not having time. Well, the beauty of my services is that it can be done from the comforts of your own home and the mom or dad taxi is not required.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So how can our listeners reach you? What's the first thing you would like them to do?
Yes. Visit my website, click on book your appointment now. I offer viewers here a free sports psychology and performance coaching session. And also be sure to download your free Help Your Children Structure Their Practices so that it is varied and that they're practicing game-like situations and that they have a schedule to go by. It's a starting point.
That's super. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this and I've learned an awful lot about what you do and so valuable for kids these days. And I know whether there's COVID or not, they need this skill. They need these skills that you're able to teach them. And they're going to use those skills now and they're going to use them further into their life too. So it's very valuable. Well, if anyone listening is actually interested in joining the Living Well Connections community, where we have so many wonderful practitioners there and you can learn about them and get to know them, head over to livingwellconnections.info, learn more about us, and you'll receive my gift of a free ebook, 5 Ways to Get Started with Healthy Habits Without Getting Overwhelmed. Because isn't life just a series of habits? And you start learning things, and whether you're learning things for your mindset or learning things that help your physical body, your nutrition, it all works beautifully that way. All works beautifully together. Well, thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you later. I hope to see you over at Living Well Connections. Take care.
Thanks for having me.